welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. How is everybody doing tonight? Pinkerbell, hello. Mars Falcon, great to see you. Perd Beer, good to see you as well. I just want to... Gulf Coast Grit, hello. Are you going to be listening in the background? Well, fair enough. By the way, I just saw your message on Discord, and I have finally responded to it. I'm sorry. I'm not all that handy with Discord yet, but getting there. Basically, today's just updates. Updates on the news. A lot of interesting stuff has happened. I think we've talked about already everybody we're going to talk about, but it's gone delightfully. It really has. So I would just like to enjoy the misery of Jim Jordan and other terrible human beings. Let's crack into it. Well, you may recall we discussed a Tennessee mayoral candidate and their failings. I just want to give credit to Wireless Mike because I believe that it was the pressure of the community that put this mayoral candidate in the position where she felt that she had to denounce the neo-Nazis that showed up in support of her. I don't know why I'm bothering with the term neo-Nazi. A neo-Nazi is just a modern-day Nazi. So I don't know why I can't say with certainty why she chose to denounce the Nazis that support her. But, you know, like a Republican who is caught doing something that they wanted to do, she did weekly denounce those Nazis. And then they responded. Here's the article. Come to us from Raw Story. Neo-Nazis contradict claim by right-wing mayoral candidate. They say, she invited us. Does not surprise me that a right-wing candidate would invite Nazis and enjoys being around Nazis and wants to be quietly known to be surrounded by Nazis. The problem is she was loudly known to be surrounded by Nazis. The neo-Nazis who showed up at Franklin, Tennessee mayoral candidate Gabriel Hansen's candidate forum on Monday, including one who walked alongside her, are contradicting her claim that she did not invite them to the event. Hansen issued a press release 2 days after the candidate forum stating that she did not hire the group that showed up at the debate the other night, nor did I ask them to participate as security for the event, while presenting screen grabs from the white supremacist group that pushed baseless claims about her opponent. But on Thursday morning, a Telegram channel associated with Hansen's neo-Nazi supporters, in other words, the Nazis like this person. They support her. Do you want to be on the same side as Nazis? Is a question many Americans need to ask themselves. Denounced Hansen as a liar. No, she didn't hire them, but she most definitely did ask them to be there, the Patriot Girls United Uncensored channel posted, alongside a screen grab of Hansen's press release. She said she had received threats from Antifa. Why in the hell would a group of guys that live nowhere near Franklin care about who the damn mayor is? She's just another lying-ass politician, the post concluded. Well, on that, and only on that, I agree with the Nazis. She is just another lying-ass politician. Oh, mercy me. So what does this mean? Well, it means that putting pressure on these punks works. And it means that, thank God, we still live in a country where you don't want to be associated with Nazis. Just barely. It's worrying that she had to think about it a little bit. To be clear, in case you missed the other episode we did on this punk, she sold them the space they use for their little neo-Nazi fight club. She associates with them professionally and personally. Frequently. And it does appear as though she did. Setting aside all the other lies she says, it does appear as though she did invite them to be there, and her intention was to intimidate people, was to scare off people who would, question her, make her look foolish. Maybe by asking about why she used other people's pictures and pretended like she was friends with these people. Remember that story? It's the first time we talked about her on this channel. The mayoral candidate. She hadn't even been elected. I think she's an alderman right now. She's not even the mayor, and she's this much of a problem. This is a great example of the kind of thing that's happening in your town. If there's a Republican running, there is someone of this character running. Ask yourself something honestly. Could you really not beat people that are this bad in a race for mayor? Ask yourself this. Does a Republican have any idea what any politician is supposed to be doing? Truly. I don't mean in terms, like, could they give a speech about it and get away with it? Like giving a book report without having read the book and just speaking vaguely enough. I mean, if they actually had to sit down and write out what the responsibilities of the office are, would a Republican be able to do it? I can't think of one that would. Not until you get to the national level, and even then I think they would be largely bullshitting. I genuinely don't think they even know what they're supposed to be doing in office. They only see these positions as a way to steal from you. That's it. That's all it is to them. At the local level, they use it to give private businesses contracts, or nice government contracts, and then they get a kickback. That's what they do at the local level. On the national level, they do the same thing, but it's fully legal. Ask yourself honestly, can you not beat somebody like that in a race for mayor? You can. If you watch this show, you are, by selection, a fan of other shows which also inform. You could know nothing about the job and get elected, and within a week, you would be a more capable mayor than any Republican in the United States. You would be a better mayor because you wouldn't be trying to harm people. When they get better at the job, all they get better at doing is swindling people. You just put in honest effort, and you genuinely take the office with the intention of making people's lives better. You will do a better job. So consider doing it. If you don't want to run yourself because you feel you would be a detriment to the cause for this reason or that, find somebody who is running against some of this filth and support them. Just support them. If you're handy on social media, be on social media on their behalf. Help create media for them to post, etc., etc., etc. Now is a great time to sharpen your skills. Give it some thought. That is what you can do. Let's see what the Wicked community has to say. Wireless Mike, 2 hours ago, News Channel 5 posted a video showing a photo of Hansen sitting next to the proclaimed neo-Nazi with the beard, sitting for what looks like an interview. First of all, Mike, I love News Channel 5. You have made me a fan of theirs. I mean, they have been on this like white on rice. It's fantastic. Second of all, it just doesn't stop with this lady. Good God. Scott Ward, very accurately putting it, they are playing to the septic pumps of humanity. Yes, well done. Tinkerbell, wait, it's that lady? Yes, the lady that faked the pictures. Yeah, same gal. LOL, what a pathetic loser, oh my God. Mars Falcon, the anti-fascists hate me. Yeah. If anti-fascists are protesting you, you should retire. You should stop. Whatever you're doing, you should stop doing if anti-fascists protest you. Because you're a fascist. Scott Ward, I would just serve for the salary. Here's something I'm working on in the background, and I'd like your thoughts on it. What if we took advantage of the fact that certain politicians receive lifetime health benefits, and we built a whole pipeline that's just designed to get a bunch of leftists lifetime health benefits and coverage? To be continued, but I love the idea of everybody only serving one term, and the main goal of serving in that office is to, for yourself, get the health care and advertise to others what it could be, how we could be living. But yeah, Scott Ward, I would serve just for the salary. These are really nice paying jobs, y'all. They pay well. Oh, and Pinkerbell also putting it very well. What a shady bee. Of course they're going to expose you if you piss them off. Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, let's continue enjoying the failures of bad human beings. Because we had a great one today. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, David Feldman is going to be happy tonight after that hot new show that the kids are into. Left Past 10 will be David Feldman's show. And you know that tonight he is going to be in celebration mode. Why? Oh, because good old Gymnasium Jordan is not the Speaker of the House.
On Capitol Hill today, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan's second try for Speaker of the House went more poorly than his first. In today's vote, he received 2 fewer.
All right, let's just appreciate this fancy news gentleman had to find the correct phraseology to say that yesterday went poorly and today went worse. And he came up with the phrase, today's vote went more poorly. Okay. Good. Just appreciating it. F you, Jim Jordan.
Republican votes than yesterday. Our Lisa Desjardins joins us now from a part of the Capitol still frozen in legislative limbo. Lisa, it's good to see you. So Jim Jordan lost support today. Why is he still in the race?
It is the question everyone's asking tonight. The House is not going to vote again tonight.
Hey, why is he still showing up? I mean, it's hard to talk about this, frankly, without sounding like you're making fun of Jim Jordan. Now, for the record, I actually am making fun of Jim Jordan. I actually wish nothing but the worst for him. I hope he ends his days in a gutter somewhere where stray dogs relieve themselves before they are adopted into loving homes. But they're just trying to tell you the facts. But the facts just don't look good for Jim Jordan. Oh. All right, I'll let him get to the meat and potatoes in a moment. I do want to also say that sweater, that hair, the lipstick shade, this gal, where have you been hiding with your fashion? I love it. Fantastic. All right. Serious stuff time. Let's get to it.
A Republican conference is not meeting, but Jim Jordan, his office tells me, is still staying in the race. You know, I have to think about the top layers here as we get through this. It's clear Jim Jordan is a fighter. He is someone who has never given up. That's part of his sort of political DNA. But behind him, I think, are also some very powerful voices in the conservative world. Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck.
He absolutely gave up when it came to protecting his charges from a sexual predator.
conservative talk show hosts
Not
who have
much
been
of a
drumming
fighter.
up support for him, who've been calling the Capitol. Those are some
Still
reasons
hangs
why
out
he's
around
here.
wrestling rings.
But let's look at the numbers facing him. We keep talking about the math here, Jeff. Got worse for Jim Jordan today. The numbers voting for him today went down by 1 overall to 199. We know he needs 217. Now, their number voting for someone else went up. 22 Republicans today voted for someone else. That is 2 more than we've seen in the past. And then, Jeff, we saw, of course, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat, receiving the most votes again, 212 as Democrats were united. Why is it that moderates were able to stay so united today, in fact, grow their ranks against Jim Jordan? Well, they still are just seething about the way they say Steve Scalise was treated. They think
Oh, so first of all, is there a better here it is. Is there a better microcosm for America than Jeffries getting the most votes for Speaker time and time again and not being made Speaker of the House? That's the U.S. of A., folks. Just want to point out. Oh, this isn't even the correct thing. Let's see if I can find it. Just want to point out that. Oh gosh, I guess they don't have it. That these guys were choosing between somebody who famously covered up for the molestation of student athletes that he was in charge of. That's the guy to my left, literally only in terms of positioning. That was one of their choices. The other one called himself a Klansman. He compared himself to the leader of the Ku Klux Klan. There's people that are so angry that we couldn't get the Klansman to lead the House that they refuse to vote for the molester assister. That's the very best that they got. The absolute best. Later in this bit, this guy is going to talk about how the Klansman is the choice for the moderate Republican, the old school Republican, Steve Scalise. That's who they're going to mention. And I just want you to remember that he is a Klansman. At the very least, he loves the Ku Klux Klan. At the very least, he's all about what they are. I mean, he might not have officially joined their ranks. I assume he has. I assume he just knew to keep his hood on. But regardless, he has expressed his love for the Klan. This filth has. So just understand that that is what a moderate Republican desperately wants running our lives. A terrorist filth like Steve Scalise. That's what they want. A reject from any decent society. Purgatory wouldn't take him, much less polite society. Wild to me. Absolutely wild to me.
Jeff, we saw, of course, Hakeem Jordan. Well, they still are just seething about the way they say Steve Scalise was treated. They think that he should have had this shot on the floor, and they basically say they don't trust the way Jim Jordan and those around him are handling this.
And in the meantime, Lisa, Democrats seem to have warmed to this idea of making Patrick McHenry a temporary speaker so that the chamber can get back to work. What are some of the other viable options?
That is a very real effort that is sort of growing by the hour, something that
Okay, so Patrick McHenry was that angry little garden gnome that slammed the gavel. He also tried to take a swing at Matt Gaetz. He is my favorite Republican. I still want him to wind up in prison, but he is my favorite Republican.
many people are considering. There is, in fact, at least 2 different members of the House Republican Conference ready to put forth a resolution to elevate the powers of Mr. McHenry. But what I found interesting today is that some of those folks backing Jordan are themselves now looking for other candidates. Here's someone I spoke to earlier. This is Beth Van Dyne of Texas.
I think there are a number of people in our conference that have got, leadership abilities, that have been able to show them to their peers, that they have their back and that they'll be there. They've got strong conservative values and they've got a strong voice. I think there's a number of those people in our conference. I just want them to step up and run for leadership. We've seen 3 of them step up, but right now it's all about getting to 217.
Who are we talking about potentially? Just in the last bit of time, a new name has in fact emerged. I want to talk about Representative Jack Bergman of Michigan. He's a retired Marine general.
And if you remember my somewhat failed gag about Northern Michigan, he is just the worst. He's a terrible human being. And he's a traitor. He is yet another traitor. So he's not much better than Jim Jordan. The only thing that's decent about him is the fact that former Marines will likely not appreciate how much of a traitor he is, and will probably talk about him in terrible, terrible ways, which he deserves. Again, I can only apologize. I'm sorry. I've done everything I can to put pressure on Northern Michigan. I have followed through on my threat to stop buying their tchotchkes and their souvenir magnets. But to my shock, that hasn't affected the economy so much that they are willing to recall Jack Bergman. So here he is in the running for Speaker of the House. This traitor from my state. I'm sorry.
Who has put out a statement now saying that he did not intend to run for speaker, but if they cannot decide upon one, that he is willing to be considered as one, that people have approached him for the job, and to serve only until the end of this Congress. So that's one name out there. Many others that I think we'll be talking about in the next couple of days.
And it raises the question, Lisa, as to why the traditional Republicans, the more establishment-aligned Republicans, haven't yet nominated their own candidate. They are the majority of the House Republican majority. Why aren't they fighting harder for their faction and for the institution?
You and I will have to talk. The majority of the majority is very tricky with the House Republicans, but I will say the answer is probably this. They would say they backed Steve Scalise, that they did put out a candidate, and they would also say they are right now looking for another, and some of them talking to Democrats. So that is a group that you are right to very closely watch.
Lisa, thanks as always for your great reporting. For more on where the Republican conference stands and what comes next, I spoke earlier today with Congressman Carlos Jimenez, Republican of Florida. He voted against Jim Jordan for Speaker in both rounds of voting so far. Congressman, thank you for being with
us. And then the Republican will grumble that his pick of his flavor of fascism didn't get the job. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure he'll try to blame Democrats for not helping Republicans. I would be furious if Democrats helped Republicans. That's a wild expectation. And really, really shockingly, very much only possible in the United States. Oh, Jesus. In the United States, where this whole generation of Republicans just expects Democrats to be their little assistants. Help them ruin the country. Oh, God. Sorry for the blasphemy. But, yeah. So Jack Bergman appears to be the next most serious candidate. 2024 is around the corner, folks. Let's get rid of the Republican majority in the House and never have to worry about this ever again. Well, let's see what y'all have to say. Looney Tunes, good to see ya. Oh, and Public Utility, you too. Looney Tunes, for my Majority Report fam, I talked to Bob Carmody last night. Whoa, let me jump up. On Matt Binder's chat, he said that they are working on getting me unbanned soon. Fantastic. I do not know how you got banned from the Majority Report, but Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That's a huge show. I'm sure it happens all the time. Public utility, impossible to name a decent Republic Klan Nazi. Yeah, agreed. Soul Life, I told you you were banned. You didn't believe me. Public utility, way too many conservatives in the Democratic Party. Agreed. My dogs are goth. To be fair, Soul Life, you shouldn't be taken seriously. You busted your chops. Mars Falcon, there must be many. The word from the real leftists in MR chat is that both sides are identical, just the same. Oh my God. Oh, I hope not. I hope not. I'm in MR chat all the time. I really hope they haven't. I didn't miss something as worrying as that. But that is. Some lefties genuinely do think like that, and it makes me frustrated. Both sides are not good. I'll go that far. But they are bad in entirely different ways. I'm going to do a segment that David Pakman essentially already did. But I'm going to do it because I want us all to be this person. I want us all to be this gal. Stand by. Time we got 9:14. I'm really blowing through this. Huh. Okay. We're ready. Let me record. I would like us all to be like the gal we're about to see. From now until November of next year, you will have politicians rolling through your state, making the mistake of showing up in your backyard and giving you an opportunity to pick up a microphone in front of them. Pick it up, knock them down. Here is a gal who I think it wouldn't surprise me to find out that she's one of you guys. In terms of her opinions and how she phrases them and her knowledge of Vivek Ramaswamy and the general political landscape. And here she is telling Vivek to his face.
You've expressed some illogical and dangerous positions just about everything under the sun, but I will only bring up a few points today.
Okay. Just be respectful of everyone, but we'll
Yes,
pick your
you.
favorite ones. Thank you.
Just a few years ago, we all saw firsthand the disastrous results when a ruthless capitalist, a scam artist, a showman, and a liar with no public service experience became the president of the United States. And yet we are here again. My fellow New Hampshire residents are being manipulated by showmen and Trump wannabes to win our votes.
Hold up. First of all, cry more, white goatee in the front. Second of all, look at this gal immediately to her left.
All saw firsthand the disastrous results when a ruthless capitalist, a scam artist, a showman, and a liar with no public service experience became the president of
Look at that gal. She's
the
loving
United
it.
States. And yet we are here again.
Yeah.
My fellow New Hampshire residents are being manipulated by showmen and Trump wannabes to win our votes. Mr. Ramaswamy, you may be a millionaire, and you may know how to avoid paying taxes by incorporating companies in Bermuda, but let's talk about your lack of job qualifications. You're not qualified to become the principal of my children's school of only 1,000 students. You're not qualified to be the select board of my town with a population of 16,000 people. And you're definitely not qualified to run for the highest office of our nation to govern 330 million Americans.
God,
Spewing nonsensical, fast-talking, empty words, interspersed with name-dropping Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, should not be misconstrued as knowledgeable. We Americans should stop thinking that rich men who fund their campaigns and manipulate us into thinking that they're smart or savvy are qualified for the presidency, to receive the codes to launch nuclear weapons, and to become the commander-in-chief of our military forces.
God, the audience. Oh, look at the guy in front. The guy. Oh. Do you think Vivek Ramaswamy has ever ever had anyone speak seriously to him like that. I mean, genuinely in his entire life, even when he was a kid, even when he was in school. I doubt it. I don't think so. I think you and I would hear this from the lady pouring our coffee if we stepped out of line. Because we don't have a shield of $1 billion to force people to be nice to us. But this lady, this is essentially Captain America. I mean, this lady's a goddamn champion. I would, if I have any correction, I would say get to your question, because I'm sure I know she's about to be called out on that very fact. And when you do this, understand the forum you're in, but still hit the notes she's hitting. This guy's a bum. The guy you worship was a bum. What good is a bum? You're not qualified to be the principal of my kid's school. By the way, she's being literal. I don't know if you've had kids who have reached school age. I've had none that I'm aware of. But when you elect a principal, you should see the resumes these people have. Doctorate in this. 7 years at that. Vice principal for blah, 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 blah. Impressive resumes. Why? Because parents look closely at who's going to be their principal. But we really don't look very closely at all at who's going to be our politicians. We let it be mysterious. It shouldn't be. First of all, it should be you. You should be the politician. If you watch this stuff for fun, you should be in charge. They're good paying jobs, and we need good people to do them. But if you'd prefer, just to make sure we don't have bad politicians, do what this lady's doing. Show up when these people come through your town and make them regret coming around these parts.
Yes, it's coming. Mr. Ramaswamy, if we American voters... Thank
She
you.
rolls with it well.
It's coming.
We'll let her finish. We'll give her a chance to finish.
Thank you.
It
Mr.
ends with a
Ramaswamy,
question mark, though.
Yes.
Thank you.
He's discovering a punishment fetish.
Thank you. You will. If we American voters keep supporting self-promoting showmen who treat the U.S. presidency or vice presidency as an entry-level position, then we, the American people, are to blame for the destruction of our democratic institutions. Please, your thoughts, Don.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Before you answer,
I want to answer.
Please, your thoughts. Yeah, okay. Look, he answers he did as far as how you can handle that question. He did I watched his response. Vivek Ramaswamy did a classy, good response to that question, and then he tried to bullshit his way out of it and blah 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 blah. But I'm not interested in it for the same reason I don't look at what Tucker Carlson's up to these days or what Alex Jones is trying to scam people with. We already know he's a con artist. We already know he's going to lie a bunch. I let me give him credit. He let the lady finish her whooping. I want a poster of her. I want like an actual like the Rocky poster redone with her on it. She whooped him so thoroughly. Every other sentence out of her mouth was the kind of thing that would end all other politicians' careers in better times. As it stands, this might have just ended Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign. Because I don't think he's going to recover. I mean, that is genuinely her speaking just then. She is genuinely voicing the concerns of the average American. Who is this clown? Some clown. We don't need to know more aside from the fact that he is a clown and he has no business being the president, and it looks like he won't be. Oh, mercy me. I needed that. Tinkerbell, I hope that is cut into ads against him. Oh my god. Yes, the anti-corporatist. I caught part of it. I did laugh when oh, never mind. It was a different thing. Ooh, Marianne, you're going to have to help me with the second part here. McDermott. He will talk his... Rolling up, stand by. He will talk his way out of it, but he has no values and he has nothing to offer. You correctly predicted that. You're right. He did talk his way out of it. Oh, look at that. We got a super chat. Look at that. Pendulous Dragon with the very kind $4.99. Thank you so much. He got roasted and toasted. Yes, he did. Absolutely. Pendulous Dragon left his best. I give when I can. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. The anti-corporatist, is anyone even going to bother to run ads against him? I've got $20, says none of us even remembers his name properly by June. Yeah, I agree. You're probably right. Looney Tunes, Pac-Man equals fake leftist. I don't know. I disagree. I gotta disagree with that. I think he's a genuine leftist. I'm sure he will have opinions that your old pal Jake does not agree with, but like wanting Medicare for all, I think alone is qualifies him to at least be able to say he's nominally on the left. Scott Ward with the very kind $5. If we use fingerprints, let me pull this up. If we use fingerprints as voter ID, then anyone arrested since 2000 could automatically be registered to vote. Good point. It would actually enfranchise voters. That's a genuinely intriguing concept. I need to think about that. If you guys have reasons why you disagree with it, pop it in the comments sweetly if you don't mind. Because that sounds like a really, really good idea. And I might want us to actively advocate for that. I just would hate to think that here's it going the other way, I guess. Here's me playing devil's advocate. If we allow them to be used as voter ID, that's one thing. But fingerprints aren't actually all that reliable. There are lots of people with very similar fingerprints. Thing number two is you suffer an injury. Like if you burn your hand and your fingerprints change, which does happen sometimes, do you then get disenfranchised? It's a tough call. Possibly if we use that as a default voter ID for people who have been arrested. I do know with security, that is the reason we don't just use biometric security for everything, because your biometrics can change. But to be continued. It's an interesting idea, man. Scott Ward, iris scan. Yeah, that's another possibility. But it comes to the same problem. You get cataracts or a botched surgery or yada yada. I got to think about biometrics in general, because you have to understand the last time I had any sort of training regarding biometrics was like 15 years ago. They might be totally different now. So I'm going off old information. Marianne McDermott, we don't need ID to vote in Australia. My word, Australia has been coming up aces lately. You guys have been an exemplar for the rest of us in a lot of issues. U.S. has a long way to go. But thank you for joining us. We use your country as a template in some cases. My dogs are goth. At Letterhack, someone said we should strive to be progressive, not purists. I like that, and I agree. Tinkerbell, it's a backup ID, and it's free since you're born with fingers. I don't know if I like it. But, and then there's more. Yeah, it's certainly, it's certainly worth considering. Voter fraud is 100 cudgel for Republican Nazis. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Marianne McDermott, not last weekend. We voted no to recognizing First Nations folk in our Constitution. Oh. That hurts. Wish that hadn't happened. But At least you had the vote. At least you had the vote. Have it again. Get it right next time. Soul Life. Australia has animals that should be extinct, though. Oh, yeah, Australia. I'm never going to go there. Marianne, anytime you feel desire to go to the frozen north, you are welcome at your old pal Jake's Murphy fold-out couch, whatever it is. But I will never go to Australia. I'm sorry. There's a blue-ringed octopus in between you and me. And that's the end of the story. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Mars Falcon, the dingoes ate the kangaroos. The dingoes will legitimately eat you if they catch you. Marianne McDermott, I've never been attacked by an animal, and then justifying what I just said, except for a dog once. Case point. And have you actually been in the ocean? Because y'all have blue-ringed octopuses, the most poisonous animal on Earth. Venomous animal on Earth, I should say. Scott Ward, I'm not saying that it's not the mark of the beast. I'm not saying that it's not the mark of the beast. I'd like a true democracy. We don't need representatives, much less a president. That's interesting. The anti-corporatist, did anyone hear about the French mandating solar panels atop all parking spots by 2026 on pain of some pretty harsh fines? No, but that's a fantastic idea. I do like the idea that we could give a tax break to any new structure that also installs solar panels. I think we could, I think we should, and I think we have built-in lobbyists for that. There are people trying to make a buck on solar panels right now. If we get them together and we say, lobby the government, get this thing to happen. Actually, that's a job, isn't it? Why shouldn't you guys get that paycheck? A lobbyist makes on average $40,000 a year. If you're willing to lobby, why shouldn't one of you do it? To be continued. But I gotta go gussy up. I know it's been short and erratic shows all week, and I will try to go back to our proper long streams soon, but not now, because I want to go get ready for Left Past 10, first ever tonight. I'll see y'all in 30 minutes ish. This has been WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. My name's Jake.